Over the years that I have been a content creator for video games, monetization has been a recurring theme in my content. Usually, once or twice a year, some studio does something ridiculous with their monetization that I end up covering it as a long-form piece of content, or a studio comes out with a statement that is absolutely positively refreshing. While people assume I always want to focus on the negative, the truth is I prefer it when game studios lead by example with their policies and statements. Earlier this year, I covered a video game in development called Eternal Tombs, where their creative director, Josh Kaba, outright stated that he does not think microtransactions belong in MMORPGs.
Obviously all the pay-to-win stuff out there. This is not where this genre should have gone. This is the greatest gaming genre ever.
Now, as we all know, monetization is a big problem in video games lately, ranging from this outrageous $129.99 Ultimate Edition of Star Wars Outlaws, which isn't even the default option when you try to buy the game. Instead, they want you to sign up for Ubisoft Plus, a monthly subscription to play over 100 games. This ranges all the way to Ashes of Creation's Alpha 2 Access Bundle, ranging from $100 to $120, which includes sunk cost marketing by bundling game time and Cash App currency into the Alpha 2 testing key. And it comes with the pretty standard advertising term of until supplies last.
Limited time only, though, so act now, order today, send no money, offer good while supplies last.
Everywhere we look in gaming, monetization is out of control. Earlier this year, when Once Human launched, I came across this Reddit thread. The monetization for this game on release is not being talked enough, to be honest. And streamers, publications are at fault too. This is the least pay-to-win game release I've seen in years for a free-to-play game, and it's not being talked about enough. Like, it's funny how much outrage there is when The Last Descendants or whatever gets it released with grindy and pay-to-win mechanics, and yet when something like this gets released, we don't talk about it enough, making it look like we're not actively encouraging this type of business. To start, this is an amazing point. Yes, the more people talking about a monetization strategy we like, the better. But as I say quite often, we, the gamers, are the problem. We keep overpaying. Do you think there would be a $129 Ultimate Edition of Star Wars Outlaws if it sold 0 copies? No, of course not. Would Ashes of Creation be able to sell $100 plus Alpha 2 Access bundles if they sold 0 copies? No, the price would have to come down. So when this poster said, for example, I've seen 1,042 clips of Asmo, Ko, Lyric, and other streamers complaining, for good reason, about other game monetization, but how many times have we seen them make a video titled, Once Humans Monetization on Release is a Breath of Fresh Air, or something like that? I can tell you 0 times. Well, I have to correct the record and say many streamers, including the 3 mentioned, do talk about good monetization when they see it. But the problem is, first, they need to see it. And second, gamers need to promote that type of positive content. And let's be honest, positive doesn't gain legs. Negativity does. That's just human nature. And to see proof of that human nature, you need look no further than the comment section. A game that finally doesn't practice predatory tactics for money deserves praise, but not headlines. Now, luckily there was a little sanity in the response, and that was the very next comment. Definitely headlines. If everyone in an area is doing wrong, you lift up the ones who are doing right. We did it with Helldivers, and they gave us respect back. This could be round 2 if we keep openly supporting games like this over other AAA games, then those companies will have no choice but to follow suit. Wow. Does that sound familiar? It's odd how the common sense things can be said over and over and over, and yet it never sticks. Which is why this next thing is going to be controversial. Once Human launched this year on July 9th, and in those 16 weeks and 3 days, I have accumulated over 1,100 hours of playtime. Yes, that does average out to be 9.5 hours a day. Don't judge me. At least I still take walks, clean, bathe. I do other things. Yes, I'm talking about some of you who haven't stumbled into a shower since Labor Day. Once Human is a free-to-play open-world survival game with seasonal servers. While the game is still rough around the edges, it is amazingly addictive and insanely fun. Now, some of you may absolutely hate this game. Feel free to rage about it in the comments section. I'm not going to defend the game because it has some glaring bugs. It is horribly balanced for PvP, the server performance is terrible sometimes, and that's just the tip of the iceberg with the bad stuff. And even with those glaring ugly spots, the game is still performing better than average on player retention, at least what we can see from the Steam charts. And remember, this chart only represents Steam players. This game has a standalone launcher. Now, I will absolutely admit, at face value, 70,000 players is not a whole lot, but it is a respectable concurrent average, and it certainly retained more players than other games that have recently launched. And what matters is player retention. My big fear now is that Starry Studios and NetEase are trying to squeeze blood from the stone and milk the cow dry. I've shown off the monetization for Once Human on my Twitch show, but I want to do it here in this video in a more structured way. So the positives of the Once Human Cash Shop is that there is only the teeniest, tiniest, less than 1%, probably an oversight, bit of pay to win. But in order for this video to have integrity, I have to call it out. I make it a point to call this pay to win out so someone doesn't come along and say, and that only thing, and it's a tiny thing, is that if you buy the Meta Pass for $4.99 for 30 days, you do get a fully upgraded campsite, which has a disassembly bench in it. This would be absolutely the only advantage you get over another player in regards to the world. So if there is no pay to win, why am I worried about the Once Human monetization? Well, just because something isn't pay to win doesn't mean it isn't predatory. And just because it isn't pay to win doesn't mean it's best practice. I love this game. Again, 9.5 hours a day average. But I fear Starry and NetEase are going to focus so much on the pennies on the floor, they are going to miss the hundreds on the table. Now, yes, I understand someone at a higher level of authority has looked at the income from the game and is happy with it. People must be buying all the expensive things I'm about to talk about. In my opinion, Once Human has prices that are very, very high, and they are following the standard poor business model of spending real money on Cash Shop currency and then using that currency to make purchases. To put up the Christian chart right now, we can see some big issues right off the bat. Most notably, no $9.99 slot and no $19.99 slot. This is going to let us know almost right away what the prices in the Cash Shop are going to look like. So when we look at a single cosmetic that is priced at 1,280 currency, there is no way to purchase that amount in the top-off screen. Now, technically, a cosmetic on sale for 1,280 currency works out to be somewhere between $21.12 if we purchase all 1280 currency from the 60 for 99 cent category. And it goes down to $16.90 if we purchase the $29.99 pack. First, let's start with the idea that a single cosmetic should never cost more than $14.99. Second, even though I could get the cosmetic for $16.90, I can't really get it for that. I got it for $29.99, and now I have some change left over. I can't get a refund for that leftover currency. I can never cash out that remaining currency for cash. I know why companies do this. They do it so you have 1,000 Cash Shop currency left, so you need to top up again in order to make another purchase. So while this might work for pulling pennies out of the hands of people already supporting your game, it is a terrible practice because it puts a glaring paywall in front of people who want to support the game, but do not want to feel taken advantage of. The same thing with many of the territory cosmetics. The two major home decor packs cost 3,280 currency. So you can either purchase a $49.99 pack, get 3,880 currency, leaving you 600 after the purchase, or you can combine the 1090 and 2280 packages for 44.98 and have 90 coins left over. Now, I understand someone is in an office with a big calculator, counting up the money, and has a big smile on his face. And I also understand many people are going to hear what I just said and immediately write it off as saying, oh, he thinks it's just too expensive. And to that, I will share a few things. Number one, I do own several of the territory packs. It is my money. I spend it how I like. Yes, I think that $44.98 for a territory pack is too expensive. No debate. I will concede the point that many people have bought this product. If you'll concede the point that you know of, have heard of, have seen at least one person asking for someone who has the glass pack or the purple pack to come and skin their house. This comes down to some very simple math. If they sold 1,000 glass packs with people spending $49.99 to get the coins, they made $49,990. Now, if they were to drop the price down to 2,280 coins, which would be $29.99, would they sell 1,668 packs? If they would, then they'd be making more money dropping the price. If they wouldn't, then the price is set properly. Now, I may not know much, but if we go back to that Steam chart for 8 a.m. on a Friday morning, I think it's fair to round that up to an even 100,000 to represent the unique players that will play throughout the day. Remember, Steam chart only shows you the current concurrent user, not unique users. So I absolutely think 100,000 is fair. Considering if I show you the 9 a.m. chart, it had already jumped by 8,000 players, which is a bump of 10%. We have to ask ourselves, would 1.6% of players buy a $29.99 pack for their housing? And I think the answer is absolutely yes. I think 5% would be fair. So 5,000 times $29.99 would be $149,950. And remember, this 5,000 only represents 5% of Steam. If there are another 100,000 players or more on loading bay, then that number would double. Do I think that 6,000 players bought the glass pack between Steam and loading bay? The answer is, I just don't know. But what I do know from a lot of years in marketing and advertising is that if 6,000 bought it at $49.99, I would be absolutely shocked if more wouldn't buy it if it was at a lower price point, and that lower price point would absolutely exceed the overall income. Now, if the cash shop being overpriced was the only issue, I probably wouldn't have made this video. Prices are what prices are. I'll spend money how I want, you spend your money how you want. And since the game is free to play, you can pay $0, you can pay $99, you can do whatever you want, and everyone can enjoy. But this video started with a Reddit post of someone giving praise to a business model, and this is where all the once human fans need to come together and say, that's not right. As we know from years and years in online gaming, holiday-themed furniture and cosmetics always tend to be a top seller, with Halloween and Christmas being two of the biggest. When Starry Studios first teased the Twilight Feast Night cosmetic pack, most people assumed it would be in the territory pack section of the cash shop at 1,380 cash shop currency, as this is what the highest priced territory packs were currently priced at. Imagine people's surprise when they didn't do this, and instead put the cosmetic pack as one of the rewards from the Hallows Masquerade RNG box collection, with an amazing 0.9% chance to draw it. To make matters worse, instead of only having 3 main prizes that you get one automatically every 30 draws, meaning 90 draws would give you all the top prizes, this particular kit had 5 top prizes, meaning that in order to ensure you'd get the cosmetic pack, you would have to make a maximum of 150 draws if your luck was terrible. Since each draw is 160 cash shop currency, 150 draws times 160 is 24,000 cash shop currency, minus 800 because you always get 50% off for your first 10 draws, meaning 23,200 cash shop currency needed. Meaning in order to ensure you got the Halloween pack and your luck was against you, you would need to spend $299.97 to get all the currency you need, and you would only be left with 440 currency. If they had kept it at 3 items, you would have only needed a maximum of 90 draws, so you would have only needed 13,600 currency, reducing the price by $99 to get the decoration pack. Now, while this sounds bad enough, Once Human does have a consolation prize for duplicates, which I won't even go down the rabbit hole of why you can get duplicates in RNG boxes that you're spending real world money for. But to buy the holiday pack with consolation tokens is 650 tokens. Now, do I want people to boycott Once Human?
No!
I want people to enjoy the game. Do I want people to boycott the Once Human shop?
No!
If they don't make money, they can't keep developing the game, they can't keep the servers online, and I lose the game that I'm spending an average of 9.5 hours a day in. Would I like the Once Human community to stand together in one voice and tell Starry and NetEase, stop with Cash App currency, just charge us straight prices? Number 2, cap cosmetics at $9.99 and $14.99 to see if your profits go up. And number 3, cap territory cosmetics at $29.99 and maybe $39.99 for holiday ones to see if profits go up. Do I want game companies to start being reasonable? Yes. Do I want gamers to start being responsible? Yes. Because if we don't, I can easily imagine a world where by 2029, we will be paying $199.99 for video games, especially if gamers keep paying these prices today. Because why would any company lower prices if people are willing to buy? Now, like and subscribe this video, or the Gale bot is going to start doing all of my content.